I look kind of angry in this picture. I don't know why. So, hi everyone. My name is Gadi. I'm an investment partner with the venture arm of Bosch, and I run their activities in Israel. And I'm here today to talk to you about the hype of Internet of Things and the realities and the gaps between them, and what does Bosch do in this domain. I hope you have enough space to sit after lunch, and I'll help you digest your lunch in the course of that. So we were actually promised that the IoT is going to be the greatest revolution ever. It will change our lives in ways that we could not imagine. It maybe even make us better people to some extent. And actually, some people call it not just IoT, some people call it IOE, E standing for everything. And when you look at IoT and IOE, it sometimes does look like they took it seriously and they decided to connect everything to the internet. And some of my favorites are, for example, for those that cannot look at their eggs in real life, they want to look at them on your screen, so you have that. For those that have an interest in the garbage, can look into their bin whenever they feel the desire to do so. For those of you that need to know where they stand and how they stand, you now have an app and ability to do so. And there seems to be a particular focus on the output, and whether you're really young or somewhat older, you can always find your favorite IoT device that will connect you to your virtual and important needs. Definitely one of my favorite ones is this bookmark that as you hold your book in your hand before you go to bed, you can look at your phone and see in which page your bookmark is actually in. Very useful. But on a more serious note, beyond these idiosyncrasies, there is actual real value in IoT. And I would like to point out maybe a few segments in particular, and we've heard about some of them today. And for example, connected vehicles pose an opportunity of $500 billion over the next few years. If we look at cities, at smart health and at smart transportation, this is an No, now I cannot talk. I'm Jewish. I cannot talk without hands. It doesn't work. So, definitely in industry, and whether the experts that say it's a 1 trillion opportunity or 4 trillion opportunity, this is where we see a huge benefit for the taking, whether it's in optimization of assets and in perfection of processes. And honestly speaking, we already have the revolution happening. We have already about 20 billion devices connected today. And this number is expected to double within the next 2 to 3 years. And at Bosch, we actually see this effect already on our business. So if I look at last year, we sold about thousands of packaging machines that are connected. We sold tens of thousands of boilers that are connected. We sold hundreds of thousands of emergency call machines for aftermarket automotive, and millions of sensors for connectivity in the car. So this is really, really happening. But for it to really take place in a massive way that we see the value of, we have some serious gaps that we think need to be addressed. Security being a favorite one. If anyone thought it's going to happen smoothly and nicely, we just got a very nice reminder last October where a massive DDoS attack was launched on several websites using connected cameras. And they simply found out the default password of these cameras that was not changed and just hacked in a massive way multiple websites. If we look at data, and this was also mentioned here today, there's no lack of data. We have tons of data stored on a regular basis, but this data, actually most of it is not used, it's just stored. And I think we're processing today somewhere under 10% of the data that actually is really there, with real limitations of getting to real-time insights from stored data. If we look at power, this is an ongoing battle. We always have power, and we want more power, so this does not end. And last but not least, the issue of interoperability is a major problem for IoT. We have today multiple networks with multiple protocols and multiple vendors, and that do not connect. And the issue of interoperability is the key thing to unlock the potential. And some people say that about 40% of the 11 trillion that is expected in 2025 will only come after we solve this issue. So Bosch's position is quite vertical in this space, and we talk to our customers, we hear that they want to see vertical solutions, full solutions. And we actually start from the very basic sensor level, making connected sensors, provide the software that comes and uses this information, and all the way on services that run on the Bosch cloud, and thus give you both the holistic level, but also the ability to do this in a safe and private manner. And Bosch actually has multiple arms and lengths in this space. We're playing in the smart home space. We're playing in the smart cities. We offer solutions for smart buildings. Obviously, connected vehicles is a very important part of our business in Industry 4.0. So almost in every which way you look at IoT, it is a major thing for us. Now, yet we think that we're not there yet. We should really, to take IoT to the next level, we need to focus on a few things that are still not where they should be. And starting from artificial intelligence, all the important autonomous vehicles, whether they're on the road, in the air, in the factory, robots, they would need artificial intelligence. This needs to be developed. This is still in early days of its inception, and there's a lot of efforts for this in startup companies and in large companies. Blockchain, while developed for the financial sector, is actually a very interesting tool for transacting between machines and between machines and people. And the ability to do so in a way which is both private and secure is critical. On the IoT networks, we live today with a kind of a salad situation. It's a mixture of all sorts of things. So our systems today have to adapt to multiple networks, but we also take some investment activities in the space. We've invested in PubNub, which is the largest messaging platform between machines that runs on multiple networks. It's network agnostic. We've just invested in a company called Sensoro in China, which is the largest IoT implementation. And this area will still involve it. This is actually still a battle. You have the camp of the NB-IoT and the camp of the LoRa, and they're still not exactly talking to each other always. But we also see technologies that are bridging that gap. And if we go and kind of dive maybe slightly into the fog and cloud computing, so today you can't really do anything only in one way. And we believe that in order to have a proper solution, you would need to have a combination of on-device computing and in-the-cloud computing. Now, I don't know how many of you have cars with ADAS systems, but if you expected your car to actually take the data it gets from the road, send it to the cloud, get the computation done, send back the command what to do with your brakes, I don't think you would trust it, and rightfully so. So this has to be done on device. But at the same time, your car sends mapping data. It sends maintenance data to the cloud. And this combination has to work. We just invested in a company called Sematics that they do on-device video comprehension. So they understand the scene of the video and they give you real-time insights to it. But at the same time, they would send a subset of the data to the cloud and actually learn the model constantly going forward. And this is a very important part of the ability to do an IoT solution. Lastly, we don't believe that you can do actually IoT only by technology. And we think that there's not going to be one company that does IoT well. This will be and always will be a combination of companies, small companies, large companies, consortia. And Bosch itself actually has very active activities with both chip companies, with software vendors, with implementation vendors, with telecom providers, with customers in actual verticals like insurance, and obviously with industry groups. So I think that the IoT really has a big potential, and we're very, very religious about following it in our both investment activities and operational activities. And I wish you all a very nice conference and a connected world. Thank you.